Hello, my name is Joanne Hochendoner. I'm a certified internal family systems practitioner and a certified mindfulness meditation teacher. The intention of these 4 videos that I recorded is to teach self-leadership. You see, when we lead with our core essence, our self-energy, we lead a life of serenity and joy. So with these 4 videos, the first video will be what is internal family systems, that we also call IFS, and what is mindfulness meditation. The second video will be about how do we foster self-energy. The third video will be about connecting with our inner world. And the fourth video will be about developing a daily mindful IFS practice. So today we're going to talk about IFS and mindfulness meditation. These are 2 powerful evidence-based modalities that when combined are powerfully transformative. So internal family systems was developed by Dick Schwartz. Dr. Richard Schwartz, he goes by Dick. He was a family therapist working with eating disorders in the 1980s, and he heard them talk about parts of themselves. So Dick saw his clients' internal parts that they were similar to their external family system. So there we got the name internal family systems. So the structure that he saw was that we have multiple minds, that these are like sub-personalities. This isn't a new concept. The Jungian analysis, Gestalt therapy, these are, where we saw, heard about sub-personalities, so it's not a new concept, but these are like alive beings within us. These parts, they have their own intentions, their own beliefs, attitudes, perspectives. And, they developed when, from conditioning, from culture, from perhaps early trauma or a trauma. Like a child could be running out into the street chasing a ball, and the parent yells at the child, and that could be, traumatic for the child, and thus creation of a part. So parts are all thoughts, emotions, and body sensations. When we're noticing our internal environment, we can notice parts by having a felt sense of that part, which can be felt in or around the body. So a part can be a body sensation, like a tension, ache, a knot in your stomach, and such. Parts can be inner dialogue, that those voices that we hear in our head. We could visualize. If you can visualize, you can visualize parts. They can be, it could be a movie scene, it could be a picture, it could be, you can be visualize a wall. I have an anger that came out once as a fire-breathing dragon. It's very creative, our internal system. Yeah, our parts are, so it could be emotions such as sadness, it could be a sick feeling in the stomach or just tightness in your chest. Some people notice parts all of these ways. So there are classifications of parts. There are protectors. Protectors are under protectors. You have managers or firefighters. Those are protectors, and the protectors are protecting exiles. So protectors developed at a young age or younger than a person. The person perhaps wasn't mature enough to cope with that situation and process it. You weren't mature enough or didn't have sufficient resources. And the protector came to being as a coping strategy. Although they can develop at a early age, they can also develop later on, and develop if there's a trauma, somebody who's older, maybe even 5 years just younger than they are. It's just that the trauma or whatever is happening isn't being processed. So managers are proactive parts. They manage like day-to-day operations. They get you to work on time. They organize life events. Firefighters are reactive parts. Those are your critic, your addictions like alcohol, shopping, gaming, eating, also suicidal ideation. All protectors have a positive intention. They want to help the internal system in their own way, but they were young when they developed, and the role that they took on was a dysfunctional protective role. Now, exiles, these are parts that carry burdens. They're younger parts of us that are stuck in time with the pain of that trauma. And then there's ourself, what Dick calls ourself, our essence that has the qualities of curiosity, calm, caring, compassion, connectedness, clarity, creativity, and courage. This is who we truly are, but we don't realize it because we're blended with parts and we think that's who we are. We think we are our parts, but we are not. We came into this world with self-energy, and it was never damaged. Self-energy can heal the parts of us that, they can heal the protectors and exiles. So how do we practice IFS? So coming into self-energy, we want to come into a space of self-energy, that open-hearted, caring, internal caring of oneself, curiosity, compassion. I'm going to come into that space, and then we interact with our parts. We want to develop a self-to-part relationship. It's important to recognize when you're blended with a part. So first we want to get to know a protector, and then the protector will give us access to the exile. We never want to go past the protector to an exile without the protector's approval. The exile can be unburdened, and the protector can transform into a functional, healthy part within the internal system. And so let me tell you a little story of an example in my own life. I had a biopsy, and I had a part of me that had a lot of anxiety. And this part of me, went worst case scenario. I mean, it was really very anxious. I felt the anxiety, very blended. And so, excuse me, I spent some time with that anxiety, and I developed a relationship with it, heard all that it needed me to know. And then it gave me access to the exile, which was a 16-year-old me. And what I saw was me at 16-year-old standing in front of my father's bed as he was dying of lung cancer. And this part said, this is what you don't want your family to feel. It was tremendous grief. And when I worked with the 16-year-old and I got to know her, and she, felt that I fully understood her situation, she was willing to let go of that burden. And once she let that go, then we filled her with the qualities that she wanted, and she wanted joy. And after she was unburdened, I went back to the protector, who was the anxiety, and said, if this is the only exile that you're protecting, then you can, transform into anything that you would like, anything to your highest good that you would want to be. And, after that healing of those parts, this calm came. And this is the calm of self, just really, that I wasn't blended, just overtaken by those parts that, were, from the biopsy, this incident of having to go through that process of that scary process. I didn't have those parts reacting to it anymore. So self-energy came out in this exquisite calm. What it really made me realize was that, I could be on my deathbed and I could be calm and have serenity. It was profound. It was very profound, that calm. So that's an example of what this work does, what this work can do. IFS is evidence-based. So it's in the National Register of Evidence-Based Programs and Practices. It was put in there in 2015. It was a study done with rheumatoid arthritis patients, and it showed a reduced pain and depression and improved physical function. And recently there was a study published December 2021 that showed IFS to reduce PTSD symptoms. Yeah, so one thing I want to say regarding this video and regarding anybody who has, and we talked about firefighters, who has extreme firefighters like suicidal ideation or addictions, eating disorder, etc. Your IFS work would be best done with an IFS certified practitioner or therapist, because it's possible that an exile could come forward and flood you with emotion and or activate a firefighter, which suicidal ideation or addiction, drug, alcohol, this could be very serious. So your work is best done with a therapist, an IFS certified therapist or practitioner. But if you don't have extreme firefighters as such, and you want to continue on with these video series, then if at any time you find yourself in distress, please end this video and seek medical attention by calling 911. So what is mindfulness? Mindfulness is routinely defined as a non-judgmental, kind, present moment awareness of what is. And conscious, and in parts, I think, non-judgmental, of course, because to have judgment would be a part of us, right? That would be a part. So it's kind, present moment awareness of what is. In what happens is that we can notice our parts when we're in the present moment, in this place. We become parts detectors, and accessing self happens in the present moment. Jack Kornfield's definition is, he says, it's an attention that's focused on present experience to observe and be fully present in the body, mind, and spirit, or for the vastness of life. And in that presence, to know, understand, connect, and interact in an authentic way, to shift from reactivity, being caught or identified with things or situations, to a place of clarity and perspective. And I love that. Basically, to me, it's saying to a place of ease and calm, which is self-energy, So we are often not in the present moment. We live our lives mostly unconscious and in the trance of our blended parts. So like if we're at a traffic light or we're waiting in a grocery line, what are we usually doing? We're living in the past with grief or regret, or in the future with fear. Most of our suffering really is caused by the stories we tell ourselves. When we're in the trance of our thoughts, of those parts that are our thoughts, then we're easily spiraling in them. And usually it's spiraling down in them. The present moment, there's so much peace in the present moment. I can tell you another story. So I was going down a highway at 60 miles an hour. And there was just a double yellow line dividing the oncoming cars. And down at a stoplight down the road, I could see there was this hippie van, this 70s hippie van, and it proceeded to pass the stoplight and start making a U-turn. And it didn't quite make the U-turn because there was a guardrail on this side. And so it stopped right in the middle of my lane, sideways. And I slammed on my brake and I skidded. It must have been like a 6-second skid from 60 miles an hour down to nothing, down to zero. And I stopped about, it must have been 3 feet from his car. Now I had this angry part just like really in my ear. I heard it, so I'm having self-energy in that I'm not blended with this angry part, but I'm hearing it. And so this guy or whoever proceeds to back up on this highway, and I had to put my car in reverse to avoid him from hitting me, from him backing up. And he proceeds to complete his turn and then make a right at that stoplight. Now, this anger is really going, and it's saying like, follow him, call the police. This guy, is off his rocker. I can't believe that he did that, but I have self-energy and I have the clarity of self-energy to know that I'm hearing this anger and I'm not going to do what it's telling me to do, because what it's telling me to do is follow this guy. And really, I don't know if this guy is drunk. I don't know if this guy has a gun. I don't know what's going on with this guy. So I just proceeded on my way. And by the time that I got to my destination, which was probably about 12 minutes to get to the store, that, the thoughts were gone. I wasn't upset. I wasn't in the trance of that. No, prior to practicing mindfulness, I could have lived with that for a week, right? I could, and I probably would have followed that guy, but I would have lived with that for a long time. But, it was no longer in my mind. And now it's just really a fun story that I tell as an example of self-energy and mindfulness, and how mindfulness can bring us peace, can bring us a lot of peace in just, not living with those thoughts. So our kind awareness, we want kind awareness to ourselves. So it's a practice of fostering caring and compassion for ourselves, for our thoughts, kindness for that anger. It's a positive intention. It actually wants to help me. Kindness for our emotions. Kindness for body sensations, for all parts of me. So a moment of kindness, whenever we become present in the moment, is really a moment of freedom. We can witness the experience and not get entangled in it. This is what's possible here. It's hard to be mindful when our attention is scattered. And so we stabilize our attention through concentration meditation. We invite people to anchor their experience through the breath, body, sound, or some simple way to come into the present moment. Meditation is training of focused attention and awareness in a deliberate way to achieve a mentally clear and emotionally calm and stable state, self-energy. And the types of meditation are like concentration meditation, where it's a body focus, where we focus on our breath. And we can also focus on something like a candle, which is visual, a mantra, a sacred repetition of sound. There's also heart state meditations like compassion or love, gratitude. There's also guided imagery or contemplative meditations or movement. The benefits of meditation. Meditation is powerful. There's been a lot of research. There's been a lot of research, and it shows that it decreases stress and stress-induced illnesses. It decreases anxiety, including job-related anxiety in high-pressure work environments. Promotes emotional health. Studies show that it can decrease depression and shows measurable increases in positive thinking. It enhances self-awareness. You can develop a stronger understanding of yourself, helping you to grow into your best self. It helps in how you relate to those around you. It also lengthens attention span. So it helps to increase the strength and endurance of your attention. It helps you to stay focused on a task for longer. One study found that only 4 days of practicing meditation may be enough to increase your attention span. So it may also reduce age-related memory loss. So improvement in attention and clarity of thinking may help keep your mind young. It can also generate kindness. Some meditations increase positive feelings and actions towards yourself and others, like metta, also known as loving kindness meditation. It can also help to improve your sleep. So research shows people can fall asleep sooner and stay asleep longer. It can help to control pain. Meditation can diminish the perception of pain in the brain. It can decrease your blood pressure. So there are so many good reasons to meditate. So how do we meditate? The most important tools you can bring to your meditation practice is a little patience and some kindness to yourself and a comfortable place to sit. So the place where to meditate, you find a place where you can sit undisturbed for a period of time. It doesn't have to be an oasis. You don't have to hike 3 miles to find a majestic view in the wilderness with chirping birds and other wildlife. It could be anywhere as long as the atmosphere is not too distracting. Most people sit, whether it's in a chair or on a cushion on the floor. You could also lay down, but it becomes hard to not fall asleep when you're laying down. It would be best to have your back upright but relaxed. If it helps, you can imagine being pulled up at the crown of your head by an invisible string. If you notice, if you're being pulled up that way, it lengthens your spine and tucks in your chin. Your hands can rest wherever they feel comfortable. Couches make you slump, so a dining hall style chair works best. It is best for your hip to be at the height of your knees or slightly higher. Place your feet on the floor. Your eyes, they may be open or closed, but you might find it easier to maintain your focus if your eyes are closed. If you keep your eyes open, maybe a soft gaze downward towards the floor so there's less distraction. The length of the meditation, general rule is the longer the better, but you want to do whatever is achievable and keeps you motivated to continue. You might only be able to start for 5 minutes, but you can increase that as you are able. You can meditate anytime it feels right for you, but meditation in the morning helps me to start off at a good mental state to start my day. And I meditate in the evening and it helps me to fall asleep. But you can meditate any time that you like. Frequency. So it's important to establish a routine. It would be good to establish a daily practice. Research shows that 10 minutes a day is more beneficial than 70 minutes once a week. And now, with all of that said, you want to do whatever feels right for you. Everybody is different. There is no one right way to meditate. It's important to be able to go within and recognize the parts that reside within us. So the parts of us are in or around our body. And really the path to serenity and joy has always been within us. The answer is to uncover what has been there all along. So now Our meditation today is on mindful breathing. It is to simply focus your attention on your breath, the inhale and exhale. Our minds will wander and we'll become aware of our minds wandering, and we'll bring our attention back to the breath. This repeated return to the breath builds the muscle of attention and mindfulness as we are learning to return and remain in the present moment, to anchor ourselves in the present moment with kindness. So find a comfortable seated position with your back upright but relaxed. Uncross your legs and place your feet on the ground. Let your hands rest in your lap or by your side, wherever is most comfortable. And gently close your eyes. Take a few breaths and relax. Then breathe in and out as you come into this present moment by noticing your breath. Just for these few minutes, we'll make this meditation about 15 minutes. We're leaving behind any stress or worries of the outside world, and we're coming into this space of here and now. Bring your awareness to your breathing. Notice the breath coming in and the breath going out. Allow your attention to go to the place where the sensation of breathing is the strongest. That could be in your nostrils, where cold air enters and warm air exits. It could be in your chest or your belly as it rises and falls. Focus where you can best feel your breath. In this meditation, this is where you will return when you notice your mind wandering. In your own natural rhythm, breathe in, feeling the breath. Breathe out, feeling the breath. Keeping your awareness lightly, gently, kindly on your breath. Breathing mindfully in the present moment. Your mind will be distracted by thoughts, emotions, and body sensations. This is absolutely natural. Bring kindness to them, to these parts of you. They are alive within you and they desire to be heard. Request they step aside just for this time and bring yourself back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out, noticing your breath where you feel it most strongly. If thoughts come in, as they naturally will, acknowledge the thoughts and bring them caring and kindness. Ask that these parts of you step aside, then bring your awareness back to your breath, back to breathing, back to the present moment. Breathing in, breathing out. Follow the breath all the way in and follow the breath all the way out, not trying to change it in any way, just breathing in and out. It's natural for thoughts to come in. Recognize that they are there with kindness. Ask if they can wait and bring your attention back to your breath. Breathing in, breathing out. Focus on your breathing, breathing in, breathing out, where you feel it strongest. As we bring this meditation to an end, keeping your eyes closed for just a little while longer, take a moment to notice how you are feeling. Your body, your mind, your spirit. Slowly come back to the room, aware of your body in the chair, opening your eyes whenever you're ready. This concludes this lesson. Please join me for the other 3 video lessons. If you have any questions, you can visit me at livingyouраuthenticself.com and send an email through the contact page. Thank you so much for joining me.